طيب تفضل.
So if I have
Online first. You can come, eat lunch, tea, coffee, whenever you want. Brothers in Birmingham, London, huh? They don't have that opportunity. And before we move any further, also, Yani, we're not done the discussion of this issue. We just mentioned it. We're not done the what? Discussion. Nor do we say that that's the strongest view, that it's only recommended. Wallahu alam. Fadl, Abu Naila. Sorry, Fadl, Sharif.
Sheikh, if I was junub and I had socks on before, can I wipe over it? Like, or would I have to take off my socks?
Question says, if I was junub and I had socks on before, can I wipe over it, etc.? No. The socks must be removed upon ghusl. You cannot make wudu. Now, let's start from the beginning. If a person means going to sleep, wiping over the khuf, wiping over the socks, that's what you're talking about, right? We say perhaps. Perhaps because a person is not making a ghusl, and the hadith, the major ritual impurity, has not been removed. So perhaps. And from another aspect, we may say no. And that is because the hadith says, wudu'ahu lis-salah. The wudu that he used to make what? For the salah. In other words, if it's invalid to do that for the salah, then it will be. However, due to the fact that this whole issue is based off of takhfif, lessening the hadith. You have hadith, going to sleep in a pure state. If you don't wish to make the entire state of purification, then at least a little bit. We say, bidinai ta'ala la haraj. Rather, even if you just wash your face and your hands, as some of the people of knowledge mention. Because it isn't what? Something that's going to remove the hadith. You're not pure. You can't make salat al-fajr, period. Whether you washed your feet or whether you didn't wash your feet. Everybody clear on this? Wallahu ta'ala alam. Further ways.
You know, like sometimes, like hearing voices in your head, like, you know, like challenging the idea of, oh, well, you know, I mean, Allah took me out of that situation, but, you know, whatever, you know what I mean? Like, these voices that challenge the authority and mercy of Allah in your head, you know what I mean? I mean, those are voices. I mean, how would you counter these issues? Like, are you held responsible for allowing the idea to even come to your head?
We say, first and foremost, is that, first of all, a Muslim having thoughts, ideas, whispers of shaitan, evil incitements of the shaitan. The authentic sunnah teaches us that this is a sign of strong iman. As we have explained in the classes on Lu'ul Marjan, it's a sign of strong iman. ذَاكَ صَرِيحُ الْإِيمَانِ. The hadith says, that's the صَرِيحُ الْإِيمَانِ. Because the shaitan only whispers and only throws things and casts things at someone that he isn't in control of. Someone that he hasn't dominated and totally flipped and toppled over. So he's trying to distract you and pull you and throw you off course of iman. The one who is a total slave of shaitan, the one who is totally dominated by the shaitan, he barely has to whisper to him, I have him. But you, that's striving and trying, I have to try to, everybody understand this? Because your guard is up. So he has to try to throw a sneak punch, a curveball, as you may say, with an evil whispering or a thought or a doubt. Because your iman is strong, your defense is what? Is up. Everybody clear on this? That's the first step. Secondly is, you're not held responsible, as the hadith says, ma'lam, as long as you don't what? تتكلم به أو تعمل أو كما جاء. Hadith says, as long as you don't speak on it or what? Act upon it. Number 3, the third step is, what the authentic hadith teach us, is that it is your job to fight those thoughts and to repel them and to seek Allah's refuge and His protection and get them out of your head and out of your mind and to try your best to stifle and suppress them. 3 stages. Number 1, there's nothing wrong with getting them initially. There's nothing wrong with that. Getting them what? Initially. There's nothing wrong with that. Number 2, there's no sin upon you for having those thoughts as long as you don't speak or act. Number 3, it is your job to do what? Fight them. To get them out of your head and not to think about them at all. And if it does come, immediately do what? Deflect it. Immediately. A'udhu billah. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. If it's a doubt, find the piece of information that is going to what? knock that doubt out of your head. That's mandatory. If you speak on those doubts, not asking a question, but you talk about it, you say it, you utter. If you act upon them or those whispers, or if you don't seek the proper knowledge or fight yourself to get rid of them, then you're now what? Held responsible. You're now what? Held responsible. These are 3 levels mentioned in the authentic hadith of the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam. Hopefully that's clear. Wallahu a'lam. This will be the last question we take tonight, inshallah. If there's none online, we'll take it from here.
Is it permissible for a Muslim woman to get vaginal rejuvenation surgery to tighten her vagina after multiple childbirth?
Inshallah, we'll discuss this issue tomorrow, bid'nillahi ta'ala, in the Q&A what? Q&A session. The general ruling is, that way we won't leave nobody hanging because we said it's the last question. The general ruling is, surgery in Islam is of several levels and types. Plastic surgery, cosmetic surgery, whatever type of surgery. There's one type of surgery that removes something harmful from the body. It's one type of surgery that prevents harm from coming to the body. There's one type of surgery that removes an unsightly blemish from the body. Something that is unnatural. Or it's natural, but it's what? It's outlandish. It's something that's very unsightly. Something that's going to harm her with regards to her husband, etc. Everybody clear on this? This is one thing. Then we have another type of surgery that is something that doesn't remove something like that, but it adds. It enhances. Everybody clear on this? It does what? It enhances. It beautifies. And obviously the surgery is going to be divided into main categories. Something, or not even surgery, but anything that you do to your body. Something that's temporary and something that's what? Permanent. Something that's temporary and something that's what? Permanent. Everybody understand this? Whether it's a hairstyle, lipstick, eyelashes, whether it is contacts, any type of surgery that's permanent, any type of surgery that is temporary, any type of surgery that isn't permanent, or any type of beautification. Everybody understand this? Everybody clear on this? So therefore, if this is something that's going to change her body permanently, everybody clear on this? Then that's the first step of understanding the answer. Number 2 is what? She has to expose her aura. Not her arm, not her neck, not her breast, not her legs. This is the innermost secret part of her aura that she's exposing to someone. Muslim surgeon, non-Muslim surgeon, male surgeon, female surgeon. Al-Muhim, she's exposing the innermost part of her aura that no one is to see except for her zawj, her husband, or the doctor in times of necessity and need. In times of necessity and accident, she's bleeding, she's dying. Everybody clear on this? If that isn't the case, then she is prohibited from exposing this type of aura to anyone except for her what? Her husband, her zawj. No one else is to see this part of her aura unless it's absolute what? Necessity. So this type of surgery here, a woman has many children, so on and so forth. She wishes to do this and do that to her body. Is it a necessity? Is it permanent changing of her body? Is it altering what Allah created? And is it something that is extremely unsightly to the spouse? Something that's a major turnoff to the spouse? Is it something that prevents the spouse from having pleasure with her sexually? That's one thing. If it isn't, if it's just a means of enhancing, if it's just a means of beautifying and adding something that's extra that isn't mandatory, then we say what? No. For those reasons. For those what? For those reasons. First and foremost, exposing the innermost aura, as we said. It's not necessity. It's not durura. She's not going to die. Secondly, this is something that is enhancing or something that's necessary, mandatory. The husband cannot have sex with her at all until she has the surgery, or something that she feels is preferable. Everybody clear on this? So these rules, these points are those that the fuqaha, the ulama, mention with regards to surgery, with regards to beautification, with regards to changing and altering the body. Shaving the eyebrows, trimming the eyebrows, and a unibrow. 2 different things. A person with a very, very crooked nose is not like someone whose just nose is just a little crooked. Everybody understand this? A woman who suffers from loss of hair is not like a woman whose hair is thin. They're different what? They're different levels. A woman who has a beauty mark or a blemish or a spot, stretch marks, is not the same as a woman who has a major deformity on her body. They're 2 different what? 2 different what? 2 different levels. With regards to someone's teeth, how someone's teeth are made. Some people have straight teeth. Some people have crooked teeth. Some people have gaps in their teeth. Some people have an overbite. Some people have small teeth, large gums, etc. Something that's normal or something that's totally what? Unnormal. Something that's temporary or something that is what? Permanent. Something in which you have to expose your inner aura and something that you what? You don't. And last but not least is alternatives. Alternatives. Is there a way, is there something for a woman to do that can fulfill the task that she's trying to fulfill after having all of these children? Everybody understand this? Is there a way that is there something that she can do without getting a permanent surgery and exposing her secret aura? Now, last but not least is, when a woman has a lot of children, does it mean, and does it necessitate that type of change is going to happen to her body? Does that mean that? That's something that I don't necessarily know about. There might be a woman who has 6, 7 children, and it doesn't mean that her body's going to be like that. It doesn't what? Doesn't mean that. So you have to establish that this is something, first and foremost, that's plausible. This is a reality. Secondly, if it is a reality and if it is plausible, is it normal or is it what? Abnormal. Is it something that can happen to women and this is how it is after childbirth, or something that totally destroyed her body? And the same applies to stretch marks and other things like this. Everybody understand? This is a very important issue. Everybody, breastfeeding a child, what happens to a woman's breast afterwards, something that's normal. It's not like something that is a major what? Deformity. So all of these details have to be placed on the table for someone to say it's halal, or for someone to say it's what? Haram. And hopefully that's clear. My personal advice is not to do the surgery. My personal advice is not to do the surgery. And that if that is the case, then there are other things, hopefully natural things that you can do to get what you're trying to get. Hopefully that's clear. Not saying that it isn't haram. Hopefully the details are clear. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala surely knows best.